And yeah, more news to bring you from the northern front here in northern Israel about Litecoin. Yeah. Wait, what? Litecoin? What's that have to do with being in the northern front? Well, you know, when you are living for a while in an area like northern Israel and you happen to be somebody who likes crypto and you happen to be somebody who likes Litecoin, well, there are some things to think about. For example, just like with living with Bitcoin under rocket fire or during wartime, as we have done for more than a year now. Although recently we've had relative quiet in the past few weeks because of a supposed ceasefire that went into effect and is tenuously holding for now. There are many considerations to think about that often make using fiat not as useful as using crypto. Although here, the fiat is relatively stable, as I mentioned in my previous video. The exchange rate, for example, for the shekel and the dollar has been relatively stable for most of the past year and some months since the war started. It was around 3.6 or 3.7 when the war began, or before the war began. It went up to around 4, I think, at the high of the dollar value against the shekel. So 4 shekels to a dollar. And then it's back down to like 3.7, 3.8 now. Sometimes, in that range, in that band. And it was really only at that high or at the low for the shekel for like, I forget, it was a few days or a couple weeks or a month at most, but it wasn't really a long time, relatively. Part of the reason for that is because Israel's economy is very diversified and also is very strong, especially in the tech sector, in terms of the companies that are here that are very strong in their ability to generate revenues and or profits. And a lot of investment came into Israel in the last year, investment that was already planned to arrive in country. It wasn't like it just suddenly appeared because of the war. In some cases it did, but in most cases it was not. It was venture capitalists who were, analyzing companies since 2022 or earlier in 2023. And they had decided already that they were going to invest in these companies. And many of them also invested in 2024. And that's why in the past year, Israel has actually seen a record high amount of venture capital from foreign sources. Hello there. I see you. Hi, Amita. Welcome. So yeah, is it Amita? Amira. Hello, Amira. So yes, we did have a record amount of investment capital flowing into Israel despite the war and despite all the naysayers who said that people wouldn't put money here. But they did. And at the same time, folks like me, who are far and few in between, I can assure you, who are living on, Bitcoin and Litecoin for the most part, and Solana and other forms of, relatively solid cryptos, we're able to, continue living that way and using local Bitcoin ATMs or Litecoin ATMs or, crypto exchange spots, or using our debit cards or credit cards that automatically convert our crypto to fiat, right? And those are available to people who have different passports or different bank accounts or whatever, like different people with different, everybody has their own contacts. Some people have bank accounts in different countries. Some people have, whatever it might be, right? So they have the ability to get those cards from the people, from the various either exchanges or, companies, basically crypto exchanges that'll get you a debit card or a credit card where you can automatically convert your crypto into fiat. You can get one from crypto.com. You can get them from Bybit. You can get them from Coinbase. I forget the other ones. I think think Binance has some. I forget if Binance has one. I think they do, but I don't remember. But there's a number of them that already allow you to do that. And there are other companies as well and other banks. And of course, PayPal lets you put crypto in your PayPal account if you can verify. All of these things you have to verify, obviously. You can verify your ID or whatever. And then you can have crypto in your account. And that's not a problem. And then you can easily, receive crypto, transfer crypto, do whatever you want with your crypto, and cash it out if you want at local places, or even just pull it out on the wall like an ATM or something like that, or just spend it directly at various vendors, whether you're buying groceries or paying for your regular bills, what you might pay for power, cable, internet, whatever, water, municipal tax, all that kind of stuff, right? And it is very much possible to live the Litecoin life, so to speak, right? Which is, as I keep saying, extremely undervalued coin in my opinion, right? It's the same tech as Bitcoin, far cheaper for one Litecoin than for one Bitcoin. There's only 4 times as many Litecoin as there are Bitcoin, and it's not quite 1,000 anymore, but it's real close to 1,000 Litecoin per Bitcoin, right? It was more than 1,000 Litecoin per Bitcoin until a few weeks ago, and then the price pumped a little bit on Litecoin relative to Bitcoin, so now it's like slightly under 1,000 Litecoin per Bitcoin, which if you think about it is a staggeringly amazing discount, right? You can get hundreds or almost 1,000 Litecoin for one Bitcoin, and there's only 4 times as many of them. And it's the same exact tech. It's decentralized in the same way, has the same halving system, the whole thing, right? Divisible, portable, scalable, uncensorable. It's literally a direct fork of Bitcoin, and all the exact, code that goes into the Bitcoin core is first tested on Litecoin. It is the test net, right? Effectively for all the major upgrades that are done to Bitcoin. That's the whole purpose of it. And it's an amazing coin, in my opinion, in that sense, because it's just so much cheaper. It's not even funny, right? So the potential percentage gains, right, when people realize, oh my God, there's no Bitcoin left, and that time is coming soon, they're going to run to Litecoin like crazy. Many people already are, right? Especially whales, as I've been saying. And if you're living out in a place like Israel or anywhere else where even though the fiat here is relatively stable, who knows what can happen tomorrow or next week or next month or next year if things go wonky, right? It might get crazy. Who knows, right? Hopefully not. But it's the muddled East, crazy things happen. And just knowing that Litecoin is always an option is a very, very powerful kind of backup asset option. So, yeah, that's my take on living the Litecoin life. When you're not living in a place like the US or Europe, or even, Japan or Australia, or someplace that has a typically more stable kind of economic environment, you can live quite well on the Litecoin standard, and it is absolutely doable. And if you are a crypto fiend, if you like crypto, or if you just want to know, if you want to experiment it for yourself and see how it goes, I highly recommend doing the research necessary. And if you are an expat living overseas, I definitely recommend doing the research, because you might find that, who knows, maybe the country you're in, might seem stable today, might not be stable tomorrow. I have a cousin who used to work for a bunch of NGOs who he worked in more than one country, where he went to sleep with one government and woke up with another government in charge on more than one occasion in the same country. And that happened to him a number of times in different places, or he worked for, an NGO where there were in countries where there was no government. I just got back. I haven't turned on my light yet, but yes. So it is certainly possible to enjoy a crypto life in a place like Israel, if you are, using Litecoin, or if you're using Bitcoin, or Solana, right, or anything like that. But certainly, this video is about Litecoin, and the focus is on Litecoin. Litecoin has been absolutely phenomenal to me, especially this past year. I have to say, it's just been a real pleasure knowing that I could, cash out Litecoin very easily, either at a crypto ATM or at a crypto change spot when I needed to, or at a kind of like a Western Union cash exchange kind of place, or also at if I had to ever use it via a debit card or a credit card, something like that, or in some cases just directly with crypto, with some vendors that just accept crypto directly. And there certainly are some, even out here, because they realize the absolute utility of this, this stuff. And here in Israel, a pretty tech-savvy country, unlike the U.S., we already have a lot of regulations in place that govern crypto for citizens and authorities and all that stuff. So it's pretty well regulated, pretty well managed. And I definitely think that people who are, interested in living in Israel and wondering about whether or not that crypto will be useful out here, and the answer is 100% yes. Absolutely. It is totally useful. Can you buy a house or a car directly with crypto, or can you pay for your rent directly with crypto? It really depends on who's selling it to you, right? Legally, there's no problem exchanging crypto for any property in Israel. It's just a question of course, making any declarations you need and doing that. But generally speaking, no. Generally speaking, prices on houses in Israel are done in dollars. Prices on cars, they're done in, yes, you pay for them in shekels, but the dollar value you can see, other than at the real estate broker shop, you'll see the price listed in shekels. But you can certainly, you can see the dollar comparative value very easily. But typically speaking, people pay for things in the local currency, right? Even if something is priced in dollars. Like if you go, for example, foreign tourists who come to Israel who want to buy real estate in Tel Aviv, if they're foreigners, so the real estate broker will have prices listed in euros and pounds and dollars, but the customer will be paying in shekels because we don't use the dollar here day to day. But there are things that are still priced basically in dollars. It's just that you see their prices listed as shekels because, again, that is the local currency. So that's the price people post. So yeah, hopefully that's useful information to you. And again, there are many countries where this is the case, right? I'm just giving you Israel as an example. You could certainly find other countries very similar to Israel, maybe minus the war stuff, hopefully minus the war stuff, where you can get prices for things in the local fiat, but you can also live using crypto as the main device that you use, a main financial vehicle. Like there are many countries across Europe, an increasing number of countries, I should say, across Europe, certainly in the Middle East. If you go to places like Dubai, if you've never been to Dubai definitely allows you to pay for things with crypto in many locations because there's a lot of people there who have crypto and not a small amount of it, obviously. If you go to even Saudi Arabia, if you go to, there's a lot of places in the Middle East where paying for things with crypto, it's not even unusual at this point. The only thing is you just got to make sure of course, like anywhere, right, that you're getting, if you're buying something in the local currency and you're paying for it with crypto, you just want to make sure your exchange rates are good so that you're not getting ripped off. And that's all. That's the whole trick. Is whenever you're an expat, make sure you're aware of your exchange rates and your fees, because that's really where you can lose a lot of money, is on the transactions. The transaction fees, the exchange fees, the interest rates, whatever it might be. You can always get, well, you can always find that your deal isn't so great, even if it seems like a great deal. So you got to be careful not to overpay the merchant that's exchanging your currency, and that way you get a deal on whatever you're paying for. Whether you're cashing out crypto or whether you're paying for goods and services using crypto as the base or directly, and that way you get a good deal, and you can enjoy living your crypto life as an expat, which is an absolutely phenomenal experience, I have to say, in many ways. Because honestly, in the last 15, 16 years, since Bitcoin started, and I began, using it in the very early days, and I was using it way, way, way back in the day to, barter for content or barter for small little computer parts and stuff like that, and then eventually for paying for, content. Using it basically as money before anybody was technically using it as money, even before Pizza Day and all that stuff. I was already getting content and little computer pieces using Bitcoin, and increasingly over the years, it's become just more and more a regular routine part of my life, where I make daily purchases and weekly and monthly purchases using crypto, right? Whether directly or after converting to the local currency, or if I'm paying for something, overseas, then I convert it to that local currency if they don't accept crypto directly. So it is increasingly becoming a real use case for people adopting it in real life. And frankly, I find it incredibly practical. It sure beats um, fiat in many ways, right? But there are still many great on-ramp systems that you can use. Whether using Venmo or PayPal or anything like that. There's still many great, great. I know people hate them, but relatively decent fiat options to use your fiat. But for example, if you earn in crypto, then you might not necessarily be able to use just any old bank account, right? They might not let you have crypto in your account, but you can still use, other services like PayPal or whatever to hold that crypto temporarily while you convert it, and then of course move any amount that you don't want to keep in there on your own private, offline wallet, your cold storage wallet, and all that stuff. So there you go. Like Litecoin, in my opinion, absolutely fantastic. Hey, Pradeep, my country. I'm in northern Israel right now, man. I'm in Israel, in the north, not very far from the border. In the north with Lebanon, not super close, but not very far. And nowadays, we thankfully have relative quiet in the last few weeks. But we had quite a hectic year and some months with all the rockets and everything else, and the missiles and the bombs and the drones and all that crazy stuff. But now it's relatively quiet, and hopefully it will stay that way. I wouldn't hold my breath, but for now, it's better. And meanwhile, living the life of crypto out in northern Israel is working out okay. Like in terms of the technical aspects of can you use the crypto out here? Absolutely. Yes, I could tell you're Indian by your name. Oh, you're from. All right. Well, hello. Well, hello there, Karnataka. Cool. Um, anyway, regards to you all. Happy crypto. Happy days. I hope wherever you are is peaceful, and that you're all prosperous and thriving and healthy, and most importantly, doing good things. All right. So if you're not